What happened to Kanye West? Welcome to the Mercurial Hot Topic. Today's discussion point is a serious question, a dangerous question, the perennial question. Can the art rise above the artist? We're going to be talking specifically about Kanye West, yay. And the reason we're doing this is because on this channel, some of my most popular, most viewed videos have been my reactions to Kanye West. Yay. Videos like Yeezus and Life of Pablo. Now let's be clear here. I come from a position where even when I was making those first Kanye West videos, I found him to be a problematic character. I only knew him because of the relationship with Kim Kardashian, so the whole reality TV thing, the comments he'd made on TMZ telly, the whole incident with Taylor Swift and stuff where he'd walked on stage and just in my opinion made a bit of a fool of himself, an ego out of control, his appearances on Joe Rogan, the whole supporting Trump thing. So I made those videos and I listened to that music slightly prejudiced, but I came away thinking that maybe this self-proclaimed genius was actually a bit of a musical genius. His production, his beats, his lyrics, in my opinion, even his delivery, absolutely top draw. And over the course of many hip-hop reactions, I came to understand that Kanye West is a cut above. But recently we've had this kind of metamorphosis from a character that many would perceive as strange, odd, and we can discuss mental health issues perhaps, to someone who's, what's a polite way of saying this? Because this is a dangerous topic, a dangerous subject, but his appearances on various interviews over the last few months, the weird wearing of like a balaclava the wrong way around, and some of his comments on certain historical events, and the way he's aligned himself with certain political ways of thinking. This is not an easy little chit chat. This is difficult stuff. He's become a difficult artist. Those around him, companies, the money around him has abandoned him. And I think a lot of people would say rightly so. And yet here we are. We're kind of all in it together. You guys own Kanye West albums. You guys have listened to Kanye West all your lives. A lot of you have yourselves proclaimed him to be a genius. I've got a YouTube channel with Kanye West videos on it. This is difficult. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. So can the art rise above the artist? We've had this over the years. Michael Jackson's another difficult one. People say to me, well, nothing's proven. I listen to Thriller and Bad and Off the Wall. I still like those albums. Musical genius, difficult person. Can we separate them? Art, artist. In this country, we've got Gary Glitter. I'll tell you an interesting one. One of my all-time heroes is Alice Cooper. And one of his best albums, if not the best, is an album called Love It to Death. From about 1971. Classic album, love it. However, the final song on it is a song called Sun Arise. And that song was written by Rolf Harris. And Rolf Harris, Google him, he's an Australian, came over here to Britain, became very famous. Another troubled character. So a song on one of my favourite ever albums is written by Rolf Harris. Does that mean that I can't listen to that song ever again? Or I shouldn't listen to that song ever again? Maybe. Does it mean I can't listen to the whole album ever again? I would say not. But there's a good case. There's a good argument for switching that album off at the end of Ballad of Dwight Fry and cutting Sun Arise from existence. Honestly, I would rather, even before the Rolf Harris revelations, I would rather that song wasn't on there anyway. The album definitely should have ended after Ballad of Dwight Fry. But it's difficult. Right now in the news, it's being reported that the publishers of Roald Dahl's works, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, all these children's stories written decades ago, they're being altered for today's generations by the publishers. words changed here and there to make the books more politically correct. And then you have arguments for and against. Some people say art is of its time. It shouldn't be tampered with. It should be left alone. Even if it's viewed with a little bit of disdain, it was made that way, leave it that way. And other people say, no, let's update it, because it's only the sort of thing that the author himself would do today, probably, if he was writing the stories today. The James Bond books, Ian Fleming's original James Bond books, if you read those, they're sexist, they're racist, but they were of their time. But again, there's an argument to just change them. Why have something derided and kicked about when you can just take some of those nasty elements out? The story will still be intact. There's an argument for that, isn't there? On a kind of different note, George Lucas, who made the Star Wars films, has forever tinkered with them and changed bits and pieces to the point where you can't really get hold of the original Star Wars trilogy. You can only watch the special edition, a constantly evolving artistic endeavour, which, funnily enough, is something that Kanye West himself was doing on Life of Pablo. When is an album finished? When is a movie finished? When is art finished? Some people have said art is never finished, it's just abandoned. And I always liked that. But if the art was abandoned by Ye, is it still okay to listen to it? The rock stars of the past are difficult to talk about today. People will say it's because it was different times. But your David Bowies, your Jimmy Pages, so we're talking Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, many allegations of inappropriate behaviour with young girls, young women. I'm not here to say whether any individual allegation is true or false, but it's just the general ease in which we sweep past behaviours under the carpet. And you can go back to historical figures, famous explorers, your Columbus and Sir Francis Drake. They did things that made them be taught about at school and perhaps had statues made of them. But they did things that were not good. They were not good. And that's putting it very politely. But it was of its time. It was of its time. So tricky. It's so tricky. But it's almost like we pick and choose how bad a person's actions really were, depending on how much we want to watch that film, Rosemary's Baby, or listen to that album, Thriller, or Life of Pablo. The reason for this video's existence is I asked my patrons how they felt about it. Rolling Stone magazine recently proclaimed Ye by Kanye West to be the #1 most horrible album of all time by a great artist. And I kind of put my video back up there, my reaction to it. And I said, here it is, a redux. And I redid the visuals a little bit. And here it is, back for the world to see again. But does anyone want to see it? And the replies I got were mixed, pretty 50-50. Some people saying Kanye West was an important part of my life. The music he made still exists. The subject matter is there, pressed onto vinyl forever, can't be changed. I liked it then. I like it now. He's gone wayward and he's been saying some stuff that I do not like, but that doesn't affect my wants to listen to his music. And I understand that point of view. And other people have said, absolutely not. I've drawn the line. This guy was always wayward. He was always a bit of a dick, but he has crossed the line with his recent comments. Crossed the line. And I'm quite happy to just throw his albums in the bin. I am not listening to Ye ever again. And I See, this is that old sitting on the fence thing, I suppose. I get that point of view as well. I get that point of view as well. So I'm opening up to all of you, really. What do you think? If I had to say, if I had to kind of nail my colours to the mast right now, I would say that I'm currently not listening to Kanye West. I don't really want to hear from him again. It's a tricky one. I understand the songs are still there. Someone put a song on the other day. Someone who doesn't know, I don't think they even know what Ye's been saying recently. They put one of his songs on. I think it was off the College Dropout. And I sort of nodded along and damn good song. Damn good song. What did you do? However, he said this stuff. It's hot. You can't forget it. Can't forget it. Maybe one day you can forgive it, but he said it. I nodded along and I thought, this is good. This is good. I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to put it on. And I don't think my reaction videos to Kanye will be watched anymore. And people are still asking me to do 808s and Heartbreak and all the albums that I didn't do originally. But seriously guys, how do I do a Kanye West reaction now? I mean, it would be like I'm legitimizing his ridiculous nonsense. And like I said, I always thought he was a bit of a dick. I had to be careful how much I said it because you guys kept telling me he was a genius. And I'm agreeing. Holy shit. I'm agreeing. Musical genius. Definite issues to the guy. Maybe it'll all end up that it's all one big rubbish, terrible, backfiring publicity stunt. But I think I'd veer on the side of not listening to him. But I kind of want to be open and honest about it. I want to hear what you think. The watcher of this video, a viewer of my channel. And I want to do more conversational pieces like this, where I put something out there and we have a conversation down below. We don't need to fry each other. We don't need to fall out. It's quite a simple one. Can the art rise above the artist? Let me know if you want more discussions like this. Over and